Hi, thank you for being here. We are Group 8, Team Phoenix, and we will be presenting for IST 421 today. Our presentation is to improve Blockbuster's situation and regain their past glories. This is our table of contents. We'll be briefly going over general situation, and then problem and solution for situation will be suggested. Based on those suggested solutions, we'll be start discussing about project scope, assumption, constraints, and risks. And then we'll be briefly presenting our prototypes, designs, and do our short prototypes walkthrough. We'll be discussing company situation and industrial situation in general. Blockbuster has been very reputable for company around late 1990s. They had over 9,000 stores around United States, but that's only history now. They have only one store currently left in Oregon. Industry-wise, it has changed a lot from late 1990s. Past stores and business focused on rental service mostly. However, business nowadays focuses on online streaming service. As a result, new business such as Netflix, Disney Plus, and Hulu has emerged as a strong player in the industry.
Hi, I will now talk about the problem and solution sections of our Blockbuster presentation. The most obvious problem with Blockbuster is how it continued to utilize its outdated brick-and-mortar business model, which has a lot of downsides. It's costly due to having to pay for the physical store itself and the staff that has to operate it. And it's not as outreaching as online services can be. Since internet is pretty much accessible in most places, it will be way easier than setting up Blockbuster shop in every neighborhood. The only real benefit of brick and mortar business model is that it can make people feel homely and thus more loyal to the brand. But the disadvantage it brings outweighs this advantage so heavily that it's not really a feasible solution anymore. However, since Blockbuster have been using this model for pretty much its entire lifespan, we can use this nostalgic loyalty to our advantage if we play our cards right. More on this later. Blockbuster is also lagging behind compared to their competitors such as Netflix, Hulu, and Redbox. These companies have been developing and releasing their online platforms since 2017. Therefore, 2007, not 2017. Therefore, Blockbuster has a lot of catch up since we're very late to the party. Last but not least, there were multiple attempts from Blockbuster to purchase Redbox and Netflix in the early years when they weren't so big yet. But Blockbuster failed to finalize the decision, and it ended up leading to the downfall of Blockbuster. Following up on this, I would like to personally recommend a couple solutions that could improve the situation of Blockbuster. First and foremost, we have to catch up to Netflix in regards to their online streaming services. We need to establish a platform not only for video streaming, however, but branch out to other related fields, such as merchandise, movie-related merch, such as posters, shirts, or like movie-related items, movie-related games, and other related fields that we can bring more customers into our platform. Secondly, we can offer loyalty discounts to old Blockbuster users to attract users away from competitors. This is what I mentioned earlier. This is one of the benefits of having a physical store for so long, is that people grew up in your stores, so they feel homely when they visit the stores. If we can play this, we can offer loyalty discounts to the old-time customers. Many of them might give us a shot again. Third, we can try to partner with movie production companies for exclusive collaborations. What I mean by that is perhaps a exclusive early release on Blockbuster platform. That way, that movie's fans will use our platform to view the movies instead of using Netflix and Hulu.
For the project scope, we included website design that included creating a website for the potential user to come in and use to be able to use our services. We want to release a new platform on the website so that people could access it. And we want to design new services, really doing stuff that the Blockbuster had never done before when it closed, and also doing something with video game renting that was really not being done by many places. or any places really. So being able to do that, we felt gave us a huge opening in the market that we could potentially leverage. Want to implement new business processes. Obviously, Blockbuster failed for numerous reasons. One of them was poor business processes, and a lot has changed in the time since Blockbuster's closed. So those would need to be updated so that they would be a little bit more cutting edge, a little bit more adaptable, and able to suit our needs. So some notable things that the scope does not include for this project is marketing. We're not going to be looking at how to market Blockbuster. We did not do anything of that, or human resources, how to deal with our employees and more internal human things. So our assumptions and constraints. Some of our assumptions was that business leaders will respond positively to proposed changes in new systems. So stockholders, people who own Blockbuster, people in charge of Blockbuster, and people who have the rights to Blockbuster would see these changes and say, yes, that's something that we should try, that's something we're willing to do. That the market will respond positively to Blockbuster's return. We felt that we made a very good product, so we're assuming that people would be interested in buying our product, that the user interface will be user-friendly. That was obviously something that we really wanted, that is very important when dealing with user interface. We did not have time to make a prototype that could really be cutting edge and really be very user-friendly. We didn't have time to do that. We just did the Adobe XD. So we just kind of assumed that that's something that we really wanted to have, but did not really have time to do it. Some constraints, how long the project goes on, and the funding. So obviously we did not get any funding. We had very set due dates for this. Lack of user testing. We pretty much just had the team to do that user testing. That's a very small sample size and not good enough if we actually wanted to bring this to market, or good enough to really make adjustments off of. So yeah, and then we didn't actually have a full working prototype that could potentially download a movie or TV show or video game. So some of the risks of this project: failure of group members to cooperate to complete the project. We felt that if we weren't able to do this, it would be very difficult to complete this project, but we also felt that the likelihood of that happening was very low, and it did not end up happening. Thankfully, we really mitigated that by a lot of communication, meeting, and just being respectful to each other. So security breaches of online service. If that happened, that would be very high cost, because that would shake our customers' faith in us. We probably lose a lot of customers. We put the likelihood of that event at high because we don't have a lot of experience designing a system that could be useful at keeping security breaches out. So yeah, so we would really have to export that service and hopefully pay someone to be able to do that for us. Failure of online service to keep up with other e-commerce streaming platforms. Cost of the event would be high. If we're behind, customers are going to go to other services. Likelihood of the event is medium. Blockbuster has been out of the game for a very long time. However, we feel that we have a very good strategy and a very good service, and like in our mitigation strategy to design the service to be convenient and easily accessible. Felt that was very important. Software crashes, especially in the beginning stages, whenever we first take it to market, that would be very costly. But we felt that any software that does crash, we are able to fix, and we are able to fix it, and hopefully our customers will not be too pissed off at us, because they do understand that happens. Yeah, and like in our migration strategy, crashes do happen, but it's important that we respond quickly and explain it to our customers.
So for our prototype design, the architecture of our system will revolve around Blockbuster's homepage, and from the homepage, users will be able to click on subpages from the menu provided at the top. Some of those pages will include a login/create account page, a shopping page, and more that will be described later on in this presentation. Our database will be backend only, which will prevent unauthorized users from accessing any confidential information, and it would keep security concerns in mind. Information from the system will constantly be fed to the database in order to keep the inventory current and to continue monitoring requests. For our third-party e-commerce solution, it will interact with both the front-end and back-end operations. Information like transaction history, customer payment information, and more will be sent to the database, while the front-end system will keep all of the users informed on the status of their input. Throughout the process, the users will be prompted to enter additional information when necessary. And for our resource information in regards to data processing, we would be using an Intel i5 processor to ensure the proper fluency of the data processing. And in terms of memory disks, we will require a 256 gigabyte hard disk drive or HDD. And keeping security concerns in mind, in order to combat those, we will be using phishing simulations where employees are trained on how to avoid clicking on any malicious links they may have in their inbox, or to avoid downloading unknown files from the internet. Next, if employees are working remotely, they have to make sure that they use VPNs and have anti-malware programs installed to tighten the security gaps. It will also be important to enforce the use of the single sign-on, the SSOs, multi-factor authentication, MFAs, and password managers, so that we can avoid another potential security soft spot. In terms of our external software requirements, Movegistics CRM is an application that will help the team stay connected at all times with two-way texting, email campaigns, live chats, and a whole bunch more. Additionally, it can be integrated with the Google Calendar, have follow-up automations for sales, it would help manage payments, and have a wireless dispatch. And for BigCommerce, it is an enterprise e-commerce solution that would allow businesses to sell a lot of their products online. It integrates online payment processors such as PayPal, Amazon, Stripe, while also configured to take payments via like bank transfers, checks, or money orders. And in terms of the actual UI design, we decided that the theme colors of our design would follow the current Blockbuster color scheme. It would also include a very important feature that we want to add, which is a search feature. This would be linked to our database and provide results based on the keywords the user enters. And another missing feature we noticed that Blockbuster needed is a quick and easy way to register for an account. By adding icons in, it would help provide the visual to take you to the proper page in an instant. Next, we will be looking at a run-through of the prototype itself.
All right, so now I'm going to be going over a walkthrough of our prototype so you guys can get an idea of exactly how we want our final product to work. So here's our login page where you can log in here if you already have an account or sign up. You can also continue as a guest and use all of our search features, but you won't be able to make any purchases if you don't have an account made with payment information set up. So I'll just click login, and now I'm gonna show you guys our account settings. Sign out to bring me back to the sign up because I want to show you guys this. Very simple register page, just first name, last name, email, and password and confirmation. Once you proceed there, this is where you'll enter in your payment information. Very simple. Then once you confirm your payment information, it'll bring you to the home page, just like the login did. Here we have all of these in the menu up here: new releases, movies, games, settings. Settings will bring you to the account settings, just like the profile button did. If you hit edit account, you can edit your payment information. Then clicking on new releases, movies, and games will all bring you to the search feature. And depending on which one of these you've clicked, it will give you suggestions based on that, or suggestions will automatically refresh when you enter a keyword or a title. So, or you can just do a general search, brings you to the same page. And then once you would enter these keywords, titles, actors, genres, all that, you can hit search and it'll bring up your search results. There'll be an item image to give you a picture of what you're looking at, with some basic information about the item you're looking at. For this, it was the example we made on our prototype is for a movie. Then it'll give an item description, cast and crew, like actors and all that. And then you have the option to purchase or rent this through Blockbuster, or through our streaming service. You would be able to stream it for free if you have that account set up. So let's just click on purchase. It'll bring you to the checkout where you can go change your payment information. All of our pages are already integrated, so none of the buttons that you see will not lead to anything. And then it'll have your purchase of $19.99, confirm checkout, your purchase was confirmed, and then back to home. And something I want to point out real quick: if you edit your payment information, you have an option to set it as default or not. So if you set whatever you set your default payment information to is where you would be able to do that quick checkout. I would like to thank you for taking the time to listen to our presentation. We're excited for what the future holds for Blockbuster. Thank you.